In this Hedera Crypto review, I'm going to go through everything you need to know about this secure online world. Hedera, a public hash graph, network and governing council. The trust layer of the internet. Vision, to build a trusted, secure and empowered digital future for all. Mission, we are dedicated to building a trusted and secure online world that empowers you, where you can work, play, buy, sell, create, and engage socially, where you have safety and privacy in your digital communities, where you are confident when interacting with others, where this digital future is available to all. Hello, future. Executive summary. Distributed ledger technologies have the potential to disrupt and transform existing markets in multiple industries. However, in our opinion, there are 5 fundamental obstacles to overcome before distributed ledgers can be widely accepted and adopted by enterprises. In this paper, we will examine these obstacles and discuss why Hedera Hashgraph is well suited to support a vast array of applications and become the world's first mass-adopted public distributed ledger. Performance. The most compelling use case for DLT require hundreds of thousands of transactions per second, and many require consensus latency measured in seconds. These performance metrics are orders of magnitude beyond what currently public DLT platforms can achieve. Security. If public DLT platforms are to facilitate the transfer of trillions of dollars of value, they will be targeted by hackers, and so will need the strongest possible network security. Having the strongest possible security starts with the consensus algorithm itself, with its security properties formally proven mathematically. Security vulnerabilities and attack vectors shouldn't be mitigated. They should be eliminated entirely. To improve performance metrics, some public DLT platforms are making compromises with regard to decentralization, and in doing so are potentially compromising security. Governance. A general-purpose public ledger should be governed by representatives from a broad range of market and geographic sectors, each with world-class expertise. Those responsible for network governance need technical expertise so they can completely manage the platform's underlying software. They need business and economics expertise so they can manage business operations of the organization and its cryptocurrency. They need legal expertise to help navigate the evolving regulatory environment. In other words, the network should be governed by a decentralized group of globally recognized industry leaders representative of every market in the world. Stability. Without technical and legal mechanisms to enforce the decisions of the governing body, public DLT platforms are at risk of devolving into chaos. Strong security and mature governance will enable a stable platform, one that engenders that necessary trust and confidence among those that would build commercial or sensitive applications on it. Regulatory compliance. We expect the government will continue to extend policy objectives to users, enterprises, and developers utilizing public ledgers and associated cryptocurrencies and tokens. We consider that a public distributed ledger must be capable of providing necessary tools for all members of its ecosystem to comply with applicable laws and regulations such as the European Union's General Data Privacy Regulations, GDPR, and enable appropriate identity management to conduct sanction screening and facilitate Know Your Customers, KYC, and anti-money laundering, AML checks. Stability. The hard forks that Bitcoin and Ethereum have experienced have arguably damaged the network effect of their corresponding currencies, creating confusion and uncertainty in the marketplace. Similarly, the explosion of altcoins and the dubious legitimacy and value of many of them does not engender the necessary confidence in businesses and consumers considering adopting cryptocurrencies. Historically, Open source software developers have recognized the value of maintaining a single baseline of code and ensuring that the best ideas from the community are included for the benefit of the whole. However, when combining an open source project with a cryptocurrency, the traditional incentive structure is turned upside down. The distributed ledger technologies that have been most widely adopted are also those that have split the most. This dynamic causes chaos in the industry and directly impedes the adoption of public ledgers by mainstream markets. Hedera technical and legal controls ensure the platform will not fork into competing platform and cryptocurrency. Technical controls. Signed state proofs. All nodes maintain a copy of the state. For instance, each node knows the balances of all network participants' crypto accounts. At the end of each round of the algorithm, each node calculates the new state by processing all transactions that were received in that round and before. Each node then digitally signs a hash of that shared state, puts in a transaction, and gossips it out on the network. Then it collects those signatures from all the other nodes. When a client requests some aspects of the state, all nodes will be able to construct and return a small file carrying the collected signatures and other cryptographic material to prove to their client or another party that the return data is indeed the true consensus state. The state is organized as a Merkle tree, so a third party can be given a proof that consists of a small part of the state plus the path to the root of the Merkle tree, including siblings of those verticals in the tree, plus the signatures and an address book history for the public keys. The diagram below represents how a third party will be confident that the state it receives from one of the nodes does indeed represent the consensus state of the full network. And as we can see, we've got the diagram here. The state is trusted and accessible by third parties. Node, 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 node. Mirror network. The Hedera mirror network is a set of nodes that will maintain all of the same requirements and most of the functionality of the main Hedera network. The primary difference in functionality is that mirror nodes do not have the ability to submit transactions to be incorporated into the network's ledger. Mirror nodes will gossip and will calculate consensus and verify signatures, but because they are unable to create events, mirror nodes have no effect on the hash graph structure. Therefore, they have no ability to submit transactions for consensus and no voting power. Mirror nodes can be thought of as read-only nodes in that transactions cannot be submitted to a mirror node via the Hedera API. Mirror nodes are free to develop additional APIs for providing new kinds of services that they create. The mirror network will provide an efficient way to get the state of the ledger out to many more users and dApps in a short period of time without having a major impact on the performances of the main network. As a result, dApps may choose to host their own mirror nodes to listen to transactions on the main network and respond accordingly. For example, a dApp that deploys a smart contract may choose to host a mirror node, listen for events from its smart contract, filter out other transactions, and respond accordingly. Staking and proxy staking. The Hedera ledger uses a proof of stake consensus mechanism in which each node's influence on consensus is proportional to the amount of cryptocurrency it has staked to it. Transaction is validated and placed into consensus after it is validated by nodes representing an aggregate stake of over 2/3 of the network's total number of H-bars. The number of H-bars is fixed at 50 billion. It is important to ensure that most of the cryptocurrency is actually being staked, so that the network continues to run in the initial phase of the network. The Hedera Treasury will proxy stake over 2/3 of the total number of H-bar to nodes hosted by council members. After H-bars become more widely distributed, so that no single user or group of users can attain control of 1/3 of all H-bars, the network will allow anyone to host a node, i.e. it will be a permissionless network at the time when a node joins the network. It must declare one or more accounts that it can control and prove that it has taken and prove that it has the private keys for those accounts. From then on, the amount of H-bars in those accounts will be used to weight its vote in the Hashgraph virtual voting algorithm. Additionally, it will be paid to serve as a node, with that payment proportional to the amount of H-bars in those accounts. It is still free to spend those H-bars at any time. Consequently, a potential disincentive of bonded proof of stake models, that of nodes unwilling to stake for fear of the associated loss of liquidity, is avoided. In addition, a mechanism called proxy staking will allow a person who owns H-bars but does not run a node to nevertheless stake those H-bars and earn a small amount of H-bars for contributing to network operation by proxy staking in their account to a node. That means giving another account credit for their H-bars and allowing the node to use that stake when it contributes to consensus. The payments for running the node, proportional to the amount staked, are then split between the node and the owner of the H-bars being proxy staked. The H-bars that are proxy staked still remain under the control of their owner. The owner will be able to turn off or redirect the proxy staking to another node at any time. They will also be able to spend the proxy staked H-bars at any time, though again, that will reduce the amount they receive in payment for staking. Note that the node to which the H-bars are proxy staked cannot spend those H-bars. This proxy staking feature for network users will not be available initially and will be added in a subsequent phase of the platform's development. A node must have at least some H-bars in its account for it to be able to influence consensus or to pay fees associated with sending transactions to the ledger. The roadmap to scale. The following are phases by which we expect the network will grow from concentrated nodes and stake to widespread nodes and stake. These phases will not be distinct, but represent the expected evolution of the network and its currency. Phase 1. The Hedera treasury holds most of its coins, and the treasury will begin to proxy stake coins to the nodes managed by the Hedera Council members. Some coins from the Hedera treasury will also be distributed to the general population for use on the network. Individuals that use the Hedera provided wallet software may also proxy their coins to the council member managed nodes. In addition to the Hedera governing council members, additional trusted parties will become able to stand up nodes. The Hedera treasury and Hedera provided wallet software used by H-bar holders by default will proxy stake coins to both the council member nodes and these additional trusted node operators. Over time, the distribution of coins will become more widely spread out across a greater number of nodes. More coins continue to be distributed from the Hedera treasury to the general population of network users. Individuals who are interested may go through a Know Your Customer process, and then also stand up nodes and receive staking of coins from the Hedera treasury and the default Hedera wallet software. More coins will continue to be distributed out of the Hedera treasury to the general population. Anonymous individuals can begin to run nodes and receive proxy staked coins. The Hedera treasury and Hedera wallet software will not proxy coins to these anonymous nodes, but those nodes may be able to receive proxied coins from third-party wallet software. As the coins are distributed widely and competing wallet software programs arise, there will be a market for proxying coins that is independent of the Hedera governing council. Eventually, all of the coins are widely distributed. There is a market of wallet software and a market of nodes competing for proxy staking. In this way, all of these coins start in the Hedera treasury account, and the initial Hedera wallet software defaults to proxying just members of the Hedera governing council. Over time, however, both the coins and the proxying gain wider and wider distribution until they are distributed across millions of nodes and accounts. Thank you for watching this Hedera Crypto review.